funny. Like The Beekeeper is a very like political movie, kind of, but it's not really. Like it's got a lot of political stuff in it, like presidents and their kids and whatever, and like a CIA, like a corrupt CIA guy, and stuff like that, and but it's like just a bunch of nonsense. Like the main plot is really funny. I don't want to spoil any of this for you, but I mean, I guess there's not a whole lot to spoil. It's not like I can describe to you the best parts of the movie, which are Jason Statham like beating people up. Anyway.
I mean, those are awesome scenes.
But yeah, you got to see those for yourself, regardless. But the whole premise of the movie is like Jason Statham is trying to get revenge for this old lady he was friends with because she got like robbed by like a telemarketing scam, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then but it's like the telemarketers like operate like they're running like a Wolf of Wall Street style like Ponzi scheme. It's very bizarre. Like they have like they're in like a big room, like they're stockbrokers like calling people.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really make any sense.
What do you
mean? Yeah, that's how. Yeah, they have like lots of money, and they're not just like random people, like from like poor countries who are trying to scam people out. Like I don't know. It's just like what's really funny about it is that there's sort of this subtext that's like, well, actually, we say that. Yeah, it's like these people are evil because they're trying to like scam people out of money, but they operate like a crappy corporate like they operate like an actual company would, in a sense. So really, what the movie is saying is that the stock market is a scam or something. I don't know. Probably what's happening there.
The moral of the story is don't fuck with Jason Statham.
Yeah, that is the moral of the story. Yeah, because then he'll come and like there's a really I'm not gonna spoil any of it for you. We don't have to talk about this anymore. I want you to experience the joy of watching Jason Statham hurt people.
I like that.
Who deserve it. Yeah. I forgot what I was going to do with all this stuff over here.
Man, freaking ruler sucks.
Are you streaming now?
Yeah, it's streaming time for me.
Cool.
I need to get a new ruler. Like one of those aluminum rulers because the cork backing like fell apart.
Oh yeah, that's nasty.
So it's like dealing with that, and then it's also uneven when I'm like trying to make a straight line, then there's like a random bump because the backing isn't even anymore. So
yeah,
just gotta get a new one.
Yeah, that's annoying. I was gonna give this guy some kind of big weird halberd thing that one of these guys was holding, but I'm not sure that actually makes sense for them to have.
Why?
Like, why is it a halberd? I don't know.
Because they're awesome.
I mean, it does look cool. I mean, halberds look cool.
You're cool.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Hey, thanks, bro.
Bro. I wonder if Matt would want to do an illustration for this.
Oh yeah, you would do something crazy.
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot him a message after this.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, Matt. What I admire about Matt is that he really sticks to his guns as an artist.
Oh yeah.
It's really just like, I'm gonna make this stuff that I like to make, and nobody's gonna tell me otherwise.
No one's gonna say shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's awesome.
Pretty dope. Yeah.
I miss him. Miss talking to that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Get the sense he's a busy fella.
Yeah, dude.
He stays busy, which is cool.
And his monsters that he draws in pencil are insane.
Yeah. Yeah, pencil is like, that's another thing that, like, it's not messy. I could do pencil, but it takes a really long time.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
I've been thinking about doing that for a book, just like doing a penciled thing and then just multiply it in Photoshop to make the lines darker. I know that's what they did with Miyazaki's Nausicaa book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
interesting.
He drew with like a black colored pencil or something, and I'm pretty sure they just multiplied it to make the lines a little darker.
Yeah, that makes sense. That I wonder. Have you ever seen the? I don't know if we talked about it before. The Carrie Nord's run on Conan for Dark Horse.
No.
The Barbarian. It's like, I think that they did something similar. It looks like he just penciled it, and then they had the colorist come over and paint it, and it almost looks like sort of like oil paint watercolory.
Ooh,
like
I think I've actually seen this before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like it's some gnarly stuff. Really cool stuff. But it's like that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's like early days of comics or whatever. It's like that kind of stuff just wasn't possible with like the scanners and everything. So
yeah,
that's,
and like the technology behind the printing was pretty, limiting, I guess.
Right.
But
pretty limiting. Yeah, you can't get those beautiful colors out of it on a mass scale anyway.
Yeah, and then like the super fine lines would be really hard to reproduce.
Yeah.
And stuff.
But yeah, his run on Conan is probably one of the biggest influences on me as an artist. Not just like my style per se, but it's like the things that I like.
Yeah.
Realizing like over the past, like probably over the past 5 years or so, or past several years, is like I've gone from really liking kind of like a simpler, or like I've gone back to really liking like paint, like painters, right, and digital painters and people like that.
Yeah.
And being inspired by that, and like finally having the sort of like gumption to just try it out and do it.
Yeah. You're doing it, man.
I'm making stuff on it looks like painting.
It looks like painting. It's not.
It's like painting.
Okay.
It's like, it is kind of weird. Like I'm not the kind of person that like has any kind of like I don't care really like what you call it.
Yeah. I was just kidding, by the way. That was a joke.
I know you're kidding, okay. and I like I know you're kidding, because it's like this is, it's like, but like if like a oil painter came up to me and was like, this isn't real painting, I would just be like,
you're not.
Yeah, real. I kind of don't care. Yeah, you're not real painting. Like I don't know what to. It's like I don't know what to tell you, man. Like that doesn't really matter. I made a picture, and I like the painterly style of it, and yeah, I don't know. I guess the only possible problem with it not being a quote unquote real painting is that I don't have an original that I can put in a gallery or something. I could just print it off. I could get it printed. Like Sam did that for his gallery exhibition.
Yeah.
Um,
Which
Granted,
totally do.
still not a quote unquote original.
Right, but I mean, you could do like limited runs and stuff of the prints. And
Yeah.
there's one way, dude, that I discovered in college was doing a print in laser engraving, right?
Oh yeah.
So laser engraving a big block of wood, and then taking that block of wood and soaking rag paper for a little bit, and then you put that rag paper on top of that piece of wood, run it through the press, and then you get all of the wood residue printed onto that piece of paper, and that's pretty much like an original. Like you're not going to get a better print from that. Like the first one is like the best looking wood residue thing, and you could get like 2 more out of it. But man, it was so cool, and I've been thinking about that too. It's like if I did do digital, I would want to do at least like prints like that, like have like the wood residue print, and then do like a limited run of like inked, prints or whatever. I feel like that'd be amazing.
That'd be tight. Yeah, that's I don't know. I think there's an artist who lives in my hometown that she like opened a whole shop and everything, and just does like she kind of her first big gig was like doing like murals at breweries and stuff. But she also, I think, in college, like she got an art degree, and she was doing like like traditional like engraving on wood, prints. She would do this. She would like do limited runs of them, and then it's like once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
And I have like my wife as like a housewarming gift when I got this house. She bought me one of her like one of her big wall prints that's hanging in our living room, and it's dope. It's like a I can't remember. The piece might be, what is the piece called? I think it's called Deer Camp, and it's like it's very like hipstery, but it has a lot of sentimental value to us because it was like hanging at this brewery that we're still like Mug Club members at.
Yeah.
So it was like right close. We would go there with all our friends all the time. It was right by our college. It's like a deer head on like a humanoid body, and it's like holding like a 6-pack of like what looks like Pabst Blue Ribbon, and it's got like a bunch of stuff in its antlers, and it's just like it's cool. It's neat. It's cool to have, knowing that it is limited, it's like and it's like printed from like a piece of like wood and not just run on a printer is pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan. Yeah, I would like to get back into printing again at some point. That'd be cool. But alas, I need the space, I need the time, and a printing press. So
yeah. It seems like one of those things that could be kind of a lot.
Yeah. Who knew?
What a pain in the ass.
Right.
All this art making such a pain in my ass.
I agree.
No, it's not really. It's like the only thing that relieves me from having pain in my ass. Like the general pain in the ass that is living life is only alleviated by making art.
Yeah. I agree.
think, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I need to do, like, the way that I did the background on this piece that I'm working on right now is basically like just some kind of crappy airbrushing of like a sun into like the center of it, and it kind of looks fine. It's like sort of, I don't know. I just like I would like to go in and kind of like paint it, quote unquote, you know, like by hand, if you will. I mean, not that this wasn't by hand, but it's just like, do I want to take the time to do that?
Let me take a gander at this. What if you just like overlaid a paint texture on it? You know?
Yeah.
Because that's what I used to do with that. I did like that Western book many years ago, but I would overlay a lot of the pages. I would overlay all the pages with a watercolor texture. They were just like various watercolor textures that I painted myself, and I just scanned in, and then you put it into a group layer, right? So you do the group, and I think it's the group is overlay and the texture is darkened, so you could put multiple different watercolor textures on top, and then it kind of like blends in that gradient feel, you know?
Okay. Yeah. That would be easier than just. I'm trying to decide like if I want to paint in like clouds and stuff too.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Or if I just want it to be. Although, yeah, maybe making like. Let's see here. What I'm doing. Clear that. It's kind of thing where I wish I had like 3 more weeks to work on this. Granted, here's the thing about this project is these are sort of prototypes, so I could always get them printed and then, you know, worry about the actual like finished painting later.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like worry about like big questions like, would this actually look better with XYZ thing instead? So I think what I'm going to do is try and like finish the focal points to the best of my ability, and then deal with those other questions later. Because the other thing is like I can't actually fit this entire painting into the card.
Yeah.
Without doing weird things with the composition.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine. Though I would like to do something different maybe with this background.
Do it, I dare you.
I dare you, bro. I double dog dare you.
I double dog dare you, bro. Ooh.
Oh, I see your. I just popped over into your stream just to check out what you got going on. I see you got a little horse friend going on there.
Yeah, it's just a little horse friend, really. So,
it's just a little horse friend.
That's
really. There's nothing weird about it. It's just a little horse friend.
It's just a little horse friend. No need to worry.
There's no need to panic.
There's really not. We don't need to get stressed out. You know, we don't need to do that.
No. You remember the meme with the weird gorilla from the cereal box? Like with the big eyes? You know what I'm talking about? And then they say like, there is no need to be upset.
No, I don't.
It's like a
I don't know the meme. I don't know the meme.
really peak culture stuff, man.
really peak cultures.
I can't remember what the name of the meme was, like called, but it was just like these like kind of creepy. They were like animals from like organic kids cereal boxes, so they were like not very like appealing, or they're just like really bizarre looking, but they look like super chilled out, you know?
Yeah.
And or no, am I mixing my memes here? I might be.
You're mixing your memes, bro.
Yeah, because no, the cereal box guys were that really rustles my jimmies. You remember that?
No.
You don't remember the jimmies being rustled?
No, man.
The gorilla just had this like weird, like the way his face looked. It was sort of like he sort of looked like kind of not mad, but
disappointed. No, I'm
like, man, yeah, disappointed. Like he's like, yeah, that really rustles my jimmies.
Oh my god, no, I have no idea.
I might be mixing several memes here. I might not even know what I'm talking about, but
dude, you're such a meme mixer, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know memes. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know. I don't know memes either anymore. I mean, this is probably like this is when I was in college, so it's been like a long ass time ago.
I know, like my buddy Kevin would mention like memes and stuff in conversation, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I definitely know what that is. I had no idea. I had no idea.
Yeah.
It's like
dude.
I never stayed on top of that internet shenanigans.
Really, you didn't find that to be a worthwhile use of your time? You didn't see the merits of staying abreast of meme culture.
I never got into the memes, man. I never got into the memes. There's people at work the other day talking about something recent, and I guess it was like, "Can I pet that dog?" or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I don't know what that is, but I've heard
I
it.
don't either.
I've heard it spoken.
Yeah, don't know what it is. I know everyone else in the world does, but besides me. But yeah, they're like, "How do you not know about this?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't. I don't
you don't have time for that shit." Yeah. Like when I'm on the internet, I'm doing like one of three things these days. I'm looking at art. I'm looking at Magic cards, which is also art.
Yep.
Or I'm watching StarCraft 2 gameplay or like tournament commentary. That's the only three things that I do on the internet now.
Yeah, I pretty much only watch like certain YouTube channels diving into like comic stuff, of course, like comics history, illustration stuff, like how to, and then like keeping up with like the gaming stuff. That's pretty much my that's what I do. I don't even look at news. I'm like, if something's important, someone will tell me about it. I don't want to get stressed out every single second when I look at the news, so
yeah,
I'm good.
No, that's fair, because that's what it is pretty much designed to do. And also, like, it's like, say whatever you want about the media, but it's like, oh, they're trying to scare us. It's like, well, there's a lot to be scared of out there, as it turns out. There's plenty of scary stuff, and you don't need to be looking at it all the time to
I don't know
live
how
a productive life.
Yeah, I don't know how some people can look at that every single like minute of every day. Stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Kevin? But yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan of being sad. Okay, I don't like it. Get out of my face.
Yeah, that's fair. That's perfectly valid and fair. Hey, who's in the chat? Is there somebody in your chat, Manny?
Yeah, it's my buddy Kevin that I was just talking about.
Oh, Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin, hello. How's it going? Manny, I'm gonna drop the link to my stream in your chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just don't. How do I do that? Let's see. Yeah, you can watch. You can dual screen it. You can watch.
Yeah.
Nate draws on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can watch Manny draws on Twitch.
That's right. And then later on YouTube. How about that?
And then yeah, you can always come back and
hang out.
You can do like a you can do like a Clockwork Orange style, like you put it all on a bunch of screens and then you watch just me and Manny drawing and painting for 24 hours with no break on a loop. Kevin says, Manny, you should bring Nate's volume down a bit. He's peaking a bit. I wonder if that's because my mic is too close to me. Because if I'm peaking on your stream, I'm probably peaking on my stream.
I feel like your volume is good on your stream.
Okay.
My stream.
Yeah, yours.
Oh, maybe it's just.
I think it's just Discord.
Okay.
I feel like your volume is good.
Yeah, it could be. Could be Discord. Yeah, Discord. Well, Discord has not been kind to us with the sound stuff. Of course, OBS was screwing with me at the beginning of the stream too. But I think it's actually something up with the way my audio output is set up on my devices. It's probably just my fault.
It's your fault, dude.
Yeah.
How dare you? It could be maybe. Do you have multiple mics set up? Like, is there a
I kind of do because like technically my mic is also an output device.
Yeah.
And then like I also have my webcam hooked up, but that's not doing anything right now.
Okay.
And then also my headphones are a mic.
Oh wow.
That is not being used. So yeah, it's too much.
It's too much.
It's just too much.
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's just
I don't know how
much.
much more of this I could take.
Yeah.
The indignities never cease.
How's that? Is it better, Kevin? I lowered him down in Discord and went down a little bit on the OBS, the OBS. Yeah, a bit better now. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like a different sound quality on Discord compared to, like, you're super clean on your stream, so.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, sometimes that kind of stuff doth happen.
It's all good.
Yeah, Manny. Sometime we should. I've been thinking that we should like, just get on one of those shared canvas thingies.
Oh yeah.
And just do some silly stuff sometimes. Maybe get some other friends to come in and just make a bunch of silly shit.
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Canvas. Casual Fridays. Or
Good.
something,
Yeah.
I haven't drawn anything like really silly in a while,
I haven't either, man. It's been comics and more comics, and yeah, it's pretty much it.
Yeah. Kevin is. I'm in full sensory overload now. He has both streams open, Spotify, and he's writing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That sounds like
Pretty
Kevin.
dope. Yeah. You're like some kind. Yeah, you're like some kind of super genius, like super villain kind of type. To stimulate my brain at all times.
What's that one movie? Is it Brainiac or something, or that like that?
Brainiac?
It's not Brainiac. It's
Limitless?
no, no. It's like a cartoon. It's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon.
I'm just thinking of like the evil
Is
villain
it?
because Will Ferrell, I think, did the voice for him, and he was like a blue guy.
Oh, okay.
He had a giant head.
Megamind?
Megamind, yes, there it is.
Yeah, no, Megamind rules. Megamind is like, yeah, Megamind is dope. Megamind is the thing that should have spawned a massive franchise over Minions.
Right.
Or whatever that Despicable Me, but honestly, I'm kind of glad they didn't do that with Megamind.
Yeah.
Kind of glad it's just like its own little movie.
Yeah. Megamind.
Wasn't like Brad Pitt like the superhero or whatever that is his arch nemesis?
Oh, I have no idea.
I think it might be Brad Pitt, which is funny.
Have you seen
Like
the Bullet Train with Brad Pitt?
that's another movie my dad was watching and I didn't watch the whole thing.
That's a fun
But
time.
I watched like a good chunk of it. Yeah, I watched a lot of it.
I enjoyed it.
Kind of cool. Maybe I did watch the whole thing. I think I did watch the whole thing. Yeah.
It's definitely like a comic book kind of movie.
Oh,
Very-
100%.
Very goofy. I love it.
The only weird thing about that movie is how like few like actual Japanese people were in it.
Yeah, and it's
Even though
in
it's
Japan.
like supposedly taking place on a train in Japan, and like Channing Tatum is one of the extras.
Right.
Like what is this train? This is like the what do they call like what do they call? They have a word for foreigners in Japan that's like, what do they call it? I can't remember. I can't remember the word, but it's like that would be it would be the train for those guys. Is it gaijin? Maybe, let me look that up. Yeah, gaijin, foreigner. Yeah, okay. It's the gaijin train. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin's got us. Yeah. He's backing us up on the in the chat,
Yeah.
dropping the knowledge. How many pages do you have for your thingy?
I have 4 pages penciled out, and now I'm inking the first page, and then I got 4 more to pencil and ink. So it's gonna be a 8-pager, and then I'm gonna do a cover for it as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, Manny, are you a Fast and the Furious fan?
I like the first movie.
I don't think I've ever seen any of them, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Somehow that never made it in my household. I think it's because it's like they only became action movies kind of later,
Right.
like true to form action movies. And like if they had been that from the beginning, I think my dad would have been watching them. But because it was just about cars or something, I don't think he wanted to watch it.
They do some really dumb things with cars in the later ones, man. It's like, why are we skydiving with cars?
Yeah, it's like, what is the car adding to this equation except like a huge amount of risk?
Yeah.
Very little reward.
What they need to do is do a Transformers and Fast and Furious wombo combo. That's what they need to do. That's the next step. The next logical step in the evolution of Fast and Furious.
Yeah, it is. They'll probably just do that in the future, but they'll make it with AI and they'll just deep fake the original cast of both movies.
Oh no, don't say this.
Yeah. It'll probably be just as good as those movies, though.
It'll probably be just as good.
I mean, yeah, I hate to say it, but there's some stuff that AI can only make better because it would just be really funny. it would just like take all the funniest parts about like Fast and the Furious and like turn them up to 11 because they would just be like so like bizarre.
It doesn't even make sense.
yeah, it's just like random like Vin Diesel just like having like a dementia rant about family. That's what, like,
for family.
Like.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, it'd be like if Shia LaBeouf like did like a heroic amount of mushrooms before he filmed.
Heroic.
That's what that's what the AI version of like those movies would be like.
Yeah. And
it would honestly be pretty dope because those movies like also like already don't make a lot of sense.
Really don't.
Like they already like don't make any sense. So it's like if they didn't make sense through an AI filter, it would actually be like hilarious. Maybe they would make sense. Maybe it'd be like if you ran it through the filter, it would backwards engineer it into something that made sense.
It's like it does the complete opposite. It makes it make sense because it's stealing from books that make sense and shit.
Right, and then it would just be boring. So maybe that would actually totally backfire.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. See, AI bad.
Could do.
Yeah. What's up, Brock?
AI bad. It's true.
How you doing? I don't even know.
It says you owe me a 10-second car star screen. Like, does that mean draw a car in 10 seconds or?
Maybe. You owe me a 10-second car star scream. I am Optimus Prime.
A 10-second car is a thing from Fast and the Furious. Is that right?
Maybe. I have no idea. There you go. That's a line. That's a line from it.
Okay. All right. You're just like
we're both just like I don't know what's going on.
Like,
yeah.
like we have like a totally like myopic view of like it's just like if it's not like immediately within an artist's interest, like we have no idea what it is.
Yeah, we're talking about like Frank Frazetta, right? No, like no, that's no. You talk about Frank all day, and then Fast and Furious comes out, and we're just I don't know, cars. Yeah. I know how to drive one. That's about it. Who joined? Sam.
Oh, Sam. Hello.
Can I?
Should we hop into that other stream so Kevin can get in here, or into that other Discord?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll do it.
Kevin feels left out. We could just, we're going to mouth breathers.
Yes, I'm jumping over. Bye.
Okay, bye.
There we go.
There it is.
I can't believe that you all have another Discord. I feel cheated on.
It's this random residual overglorified group DM with the three of us and a friend of ours. Like literally nothing happens on it. It's just us messaging me. Yeah.
Gordon's on there sometimes.
Wait, and then
Yeah.
do you guys know that Brock is really cool and
Yes.
good looking as well?
Yeah.
Oh.
Brock is very cool. I was watching his stream yesterday for a bit.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah.
I am working on the knot for Murph's headband, and I think I'm overthinking it. I don't think anyone's like, Sam, I'm the knot police, and your knot is not good. I think it just needs to look like a knot.
Bad knot.
That knot.
Not.
What are you, a fucking
Badass
Boy
knot.
Scout?
Oh.
That's not not. Not.
Nah.
What a crazy Saturday or Sunday vibe.
I know. We're doing it, guys.
Hello. Hello.
Hola.
What were Manny and Nate? What were you guys talking about?
It's, Fast and Furious, and not knowing anything about it really, because we don't pay attention,
Yeah.
and we're stuck in our
Wait.
cave. Yeah.
Are you guys not Americans? I don't understand what's going on right now. Like, this is really awkward.
Well, not real Americans, I guess.
Yeah. Apparently.
Just ask you guys to give back your citizenship. That'd be great. Thank you.
Alright. You are the lawyer, so.
I really
Yeah.
don't know how I got away with not watching Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, that is.
As someone
crazy.
who has seen most of them, how do I put this? Like Christopher Nolan loves them, but not because they're good movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Not because they're good.
they serve the same role as like Mean Girls does for me, where it's just eminently rewatchable
Right.
Hmm.
and entertaining for that purpose. But yeah, it's not like a meditation on, you know, societal progress or anything. Like, it's not like, that's not what's going on.
But it's just fast, and it's furious.
Well, it is both those things, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Simultaneously fast and furious. Not necessarily in that order.
Not yet.
Very legit and cool.
Yeah.
Brock says the first few are legit. Once The Rock and Jason Statham come in, just save your time. Yeah, I agree with that. Too.
Yeah, they stopped being car movies after that and just became, I don't know. I feel like the next, like, didn't they go to space at one point in the franchise?
Probably. Yeah.
Is that the last one? Because
Yeah.
they're like skydiving from super high up with a car for some reason.
Yeah.
I just saw
gotta
that in the
find
trailer.
my favorite Paul Walker clip. You know the one.
Yeah.
The point of this conversation is that we have no clue.
Oh no, this is the best one. Hold on. Put it in the general chat.
Paul Walker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dang it, I can't hear this because my stupid thing doesn't work.
No.
My headphones
It's just
are-
Paul Walker saying, "Forget about it,
are
cuz."
bugging out because I have too many programs open or something.
I mean, Paul Walker is famously gangster, so.
That's true.
It is. I've never gotten over the fact that he died in a car accident.
It is, yeah.
Too
Alright.
fast, too furious.
Yeah.
R.I.P., bro.
Wasn't he like a
Ironic.
marine biologist before he was an actor, or like studying to do that or something?
Sure. But that is-
Probably.
Thought I saw that somewhere, but Brock says that's Too Fast, Too Furious, arguably the best
Yeah.
one.
That's the one with the famous bridge jump scene.
Yeah.
I've seen those first three like many, many times. So they would just like replay on TV a lot when I was a kid. But and once the fourth one came out, I just gave up. I like, you know, I've always said that I know a movie's terrible when even when I was like 12, 13 years old, I could tell. that it was bad. You know,
Yeah.
there are some movies you revisit and you're like, oh man, I was just like a dumb kid. Then there are other movies where you're just like, nope, I was right. I should have trusted my 8-year-old instincts and known that that movie is actually fucking horrible.
Yeah, we were saying that about something earlier, like that exact same sentiment. I can't remember what the movie was we were talking about, Manny.
That was absolutely horrible. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. I got lost in the sauce. My memory is
I
wiped.
don't think I think it was a movie that you hadn't seen, but yeah, whatever. It's not important. It's not important.
No, it's
Only
fine.
family
You know,
is
it's
important.
cool.
Whatever. Yeah.
Hi, boys. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. There we go.
Oh, life. Evan and Brock, did you guys see what I did with Murph's belt buckle? Belt buckle? What is
Oh,
it?
with the MF in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rad. You've just been posting on Instagram with your progress, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Want to be sure I wasn't missing the live updates.
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome watching that come together.
Awesome. So yeah.
Hey. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, Manny.
Huh?
This weekend is the Great Cover-Up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Ein's doing like 15 covers or something.
Yeah, he's doing 4 different sets.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, the Spotify day lists have been killing me. Public playlist. You listen to obscure and British metal on Sunday afternoons. Here's some hard and heavy, headbanging hair metal, classic heavy metal, glam, and classic hard rock. You're wrong, Spotify. That's not what I want to listen to right now.
Hmm.
Doom, doom.
Nothing.
Oh yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Young.
Nate, what are you working on? You're working on the orc.
I've got my if you go to my YouTube channel, my stream is also up.
Oh,
We're
oh.
doing a little dual stream action up in here.
Yeah, boy.
I keep thinking that I need to like do time lapses of my sculpt process because people don't know what it is, and I was like, or maybe I should just stream. Maybe that's it. And I have a camera on top of, or just do OBS, I guess. Have my screen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. While
Yeah.
I'm talking.
I luckily, like, you can. So I've been recording this painting that I'm doing in Clip Studio, and the issue with that is that it's huge, and so I have to keep exporting the video so the file doesn't get too big, and then deleting, and then like turning off the recording and restarting it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of annoying, but it means I don't have to think about recording it, which is nice. So eventually I can just release the process. But...
Yeah.
In Nate's chat, Sam Lamb says, "Hi, I am here too."
Oh, hi, Sam. We got a chatter in the house.
Yeah.
How you doing? How's it going? Nice.
Pretty
Hope you're
gay.
having a fantastic day.
Pretty gay. Let's see if I can figure out how to put all these windows on my screen.
Yeah.
Good job, state-of-the-art gaming PC. You're really doing it. I believe in you.
making it happen.
Stream doing okay.
Yeah. Mouth Breathers Guild bumping for the chat metrics.
Bumping.
We're bumping. We're absolutely bumping in here. Absolutely bumping these metrics. Am I right, guys?
Oh my
Dude.
god, so terrible.
Smash that like button.
Smash.
Subscribe.
Smash.
Guys, if you got those Bezos bucks, go ahead and throw them to my boy, Manny Draws.
Air horn.
Bezos bucks. That's great.
Yeah. Gotta get those Bezos bucks. I mean, he doesn't need them.
That's right. Lex Luthor does not need more money.
No, Lex Luthor has plenty of money.
Love those guys so much.
Thrash polka? Oh, yo.
I mean, it's really cool that exists.
I want to know what this sounds like now.
It's very good.
It's very good. It's thrash and polka.
Did you ever listen to Mr. Bungle?
Yeah, I love Mr. Bungle.
Mr. Bungle, I was introduced to Mr. Bungle in high school, which is probably explains a lot about my personality.
I made Manny listen to that for like the first time not too long ago,
Yeah.
and I described it as clown metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
You
I'm trying
showed.
to remember what they described themselves at. It was like the genre was something like thrash polka. It was sort of like a mashup of like two things that like shouldn't be put together if you don't want your ears to bleed. But
Yeah.
but I like Mr. Bungle.
I love Mike Patton.
Yeah. We like. I haven't listened to Mr. Bungle in a very long time. I haven't thought about Mr. Bungle in a very long time, and now my mind is going to deep dark places
Deep dark places.
that are probably appropriate for painting, this crazy demon lady thing. So
I think so.
Actually, pretty cool. Yeah.
There's definitely a Venn diagram of Faith No More fans and Magic the Gathering players.
Yes. Totally. There totally is that Venn diagram is probably, especially given like that because Faith No More was popular like many years ago at this point, or like came to prominence. So and Magic is like 30 years old. So that makes that seems.
Oh wait, we got a suggestion from Brock for the thrash polka. Let me pause the cramps.
Let me pause the grips. I've just been listening to a lot of Susie and the Banshees lately.
Oh yeah.
And, and
Oh,
some
you know what? This
jams.
this is like the Eastern European equivalent to like Dropkick Murphys.
Oh. I could be into
I
that.
actually have no idea how to imagine what that is.
It's amazing.
Maybe I do. Maybe if I thought about it a little harder.
I put it in the chat. Thank you for the recommendation. Yeah, it also reminds me of like what people told me pirate metal would be like.
Oh.
Pirate metal.
Which is exactly what you think it is.
Yeah.
It's like sea shanties, but with like detuned guitars and blast beats.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that exists for somebody.
Like to each their own.
Yeah.
I respect
I
your
mean-
choices.
Because I like sea shanties just as they are. I think they're almost perfect form of music for sailing the high seas with your boys.
Nate, I feel like I've made this comment with you before, but I'm like not surprised to hear that Nate Gimby has non-trivial opinions about sea shanties. Like that's not a surprise.
Well, it's but my my opinions about sea shanties come from the most basic place possible, which is I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
But no, that's a pretty good source though. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
I never played Black Flag, or I played like the first hour of it, and that was about it.
Have you played any? Are you an Assassin's Creed fan?
I enjoyed playing those games a while back, like the first 3
Yeah.
games, and the
Well,
yeah.
Assassin's
Yeah,
Creed Black
Ezio
Flag is
trilogy.
the best
Yeah.
one. It is hands down the best Assassin's Creed game. And if you try to argue with me, I'm going to cry. And
sure. Yeah.
I will cry if you fight me on this hill.
I will cry. I will not stand my ground. I will run away, but I'm gonna make you feel extra bad about it.
Why are you saying this? Oh, just run.
I don't even care.
I'm not going to die on this hill. I'm going to run home to my parents' place, hide under the porch, and die there like a lonely dog. I'm going to.
As one does.
Yeah, as one does when their worldview is shattered by facts and logic.
That's you.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, the whole point of that is to say that I liked Black Flag a lot, and the sea shanty part of that game is probably one of the best like flavor things that's ever been in a game. In terms of making you feel like a pirate, you know.
It's a pirate's life for me.
Oh yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Got him.
That was for you, Brock. That one was for you. I think comics right now is filling the role that video games do, where it's like it's the thing that like when I've been doing art for long and I need a break, I go do it.
Yeah.
And I am very excited to. I finally sat down and read the first issue of Dan's Transformers, and it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
I think I'm still
better.
Yeah, I think I'm still on like I love Transformers. I actually teared up when I read Dan's epilogue after the first issue, where he talks about how he like I don't know if you guys read it, but he talked about how he like had Optimus Prime the figurine on the bus, but he dropped it, and he like kept looking for the hand. That was me. Like I grew up with like the figurine, and I was that nerd who like I had a Voltron and Optimus Prime, you know. So that was really on point for me. I kind of forget how much of a nerd I am because I'm so cool now, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and but I think like despite that, and I do plan to get the next few issues. Is there, by the way, question mark? Is there already a trade for that, or is it too? I mean, it just came out. Like,
No, the 5th issue is coming out this month, or just came out. I can't remember.
Okay.
Um,
I might just wait until Skybound sends it to me as a gift or something. But like, I'm still kind of on like a magic fantasy kick, and so I feel like the Wonder Woman Dead Earth that I got, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm also really excited about Extremity for that reason.
Oh yeah. Extremity is awesome.
Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, Kevin, but so they didn't have it at the North Hollywood location, but they just called into another one, and then I guess yeah, and so the owner, so there's this is Collector's Paradise, which is my local shop, and used to be Kevin's when he lived in North Hollywood, and they have 3 locations. Their original one's in Winnetka. I said Canoga Park, but it's Winnetka, and it's huge. But they apparently the owner every week he does a rotation. So like if the one shop calls into another and they have like some SKUs of something, he'll just bring them along. So I ordered Extremity and The Last Ronin, and so next week. So I'm pretty excited, and I also like Ninja Turtles as well. Is it bad that I used to have a huge crush on Michelangelo? Like, was that where my furriness started?
No, they made him very fuckable, and it's not like anything wrong.
Yeah. Basically irresistible.
Yeah.
Little himbo vibes? Like, come on. That's I think everyone's getting what my type is between Murph and what I just said.
Yeah.
And fucking the Fox Robin Hood, but that was all of us. That was everybody, I think. Were you guys into Maid Marian from the cartoon Robin Hood?
That was one of the movies that I never saw as a kid for whatever reason.
It was already kind of old when I grew
It-
up,
it
so it would have been
was.
ancient by the time you came
Yeah,
out.
I mean, I had a lot of older Disney movies though, like, but that was that one just never showed up in my household. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
That was one of my first. Brock said Mikey is hella breedable. Don't feel
Honestly, the only like anthropomorphic like animal that I've ever like had feelings towards was Lola Bunny from Space Jam.
I mean, but that was insanely on purpose, right? Like even I
Yeah,
recognized
that
that
was
as a little
super-
gay kid.
Yeah, they made her really hot.
Yeah. The thing is, I wasn't a sports kid, and so like I never actually like I had no desire to see Space Jam. I didn't see Space Jam until I was an adult.
The original.
The original, yeah.
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 I haven't
didn't
seen the
see
new one, which
Yeah.
which seems problematic, and I don't know how. I just feel like it is probably.
Yeah, probably.
So what did you think of? What did you think of?
Of Space
Jam?
Jam? I don't know. I thought it was fine. It was sort of fun. Like, I mean, yeah, Lola Bunny is hot. I mean, I don't think that's one of those things where if you don't see it early enough in life, you don't like form some kind of weird attachment to it. Like anybody at any age could watch that and be like, yeah, I'm a furry now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
It's a timeless thing.
That was
Unbound by
I'm-
age.
who
restriction.
else? Who else was an animated hottie for me? Oh, okay, do you guys remember the Goofy movie? The
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, okay, laughter is correct. Do you guys remember the like the superstar guy? Like, what's his name? And he had that one really awesome track, Goofy. He was like Goofy's son's like idol or whatever. Anyway, they made that guy really hot. That was one of my first. Anyway, when I explain to people like they're like, oh, what's your sexual orientation? I'm like, I'm gay, but that like is the tip of the iceberg. Like there's like it's so deep. There's so much more to explain to you. It would be like yeah, my sexual orientation is like if somebody was like, what's Lord of the Rings about? And I'd be like, it's a road trip. You know, like that's
Yeah.
I'm gay legally.
The best description I've ever heard of that was in the show Community, and it was the dean, and they were asking him if he was gay,
Yeah.
and he was
They
just like,
decided to begin to describe it.
yeah, he says if sexuality is a magic show and being gay is pulling a rabbit out of a hat, I'm one of those never-ending scarves.
Yeah. One of my favorite characters. Oh, by the way, Brock answered the question. Powerline, correct. Powerline is the name of the Goofy movie character.
Powerline.
I mean, look at this guy. Google him, guys. Come on, he's
What's
hot.
he called? Wait, he's called Powerline from the Goofy.
I dropped it into Manny's chat.
Oh,
He had exactly that look that was super in the 90s, you know? And he had
Yeah.
baggy pants, which are back in now. I like that baggy. I don't wear baggy pants, but I like that they're in. I've always thought they look really cool.
Kind of looks like
I mean-
Grace Jones.
Yeah, I mean, hot, so nothing wrong with that. No, I just realized my cat's reminding me that it is lunchtime, so I will BRB, as the kids say.
yes.
Yeah, well, now that we're not talking about furry stuff anymore, I've sort of lost interest.
You guys,
This is
I'm out of
fun.
here.
You know, it's really funny because when I was a kid, I actually would like pretend to be a dog a lot because my parents wouldn't get me a dog.
Oh, is that because you went to a lot of drag brunches?
Yeah,
Isn't that what's
Yeah,
going
my
on
par-
with the kids
My
now?
parents, they wouldn't get me a dog, and they constantly took me to drag brunches, and so I had to pretend to be a dog. But no, no, but like I think what's funny about that is like, I don't think there's anything weird or shameful or bad about being a furry, but it's just like for as much time in my childhood as I spent like running around in my underwear, like barking like a dog. I have like absolutely no interest in making that part of my sexual identity. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean, you just haven't explored it. It sounds like
You just haven't explored it.
maybe you could be a bit more open-minded.
that's fair. I'm gonna check my privilege here and acknowledge that I have some work to do on myself, and some of that work may involve pretending to be a dog for sex reasons.
For sex reasons.
I just want you guys to know that my sister just walked in and can hear everything we're talking about.
Hi.
But she's probably like, yeah, that tracks.
Are you selfish?
Yeah.
My sister says she used to pretend she was a dog. I don't know, you people. I'm so normal, so I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Well, I was saying that I did this all the time because my parents wouldn't get me a dog, so I was obsessed with dogs, but that experience somehow that never crossed over into like the sexualization of furry type stuff.
Yeah,
For
well,
me.
maybe it should have.
Yeah, that's what Kevin was giving me some heat for that, and I fully acknowledge that yeah, we all have a journey in life, and sometimes the path you didn't take, you just gotta backtrack a little and take a look at that again,
Well, that's a Robert Frost poem, right?
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes there are paths, and if you didn't take them, it's fine.
I believe that poem was called "Why Didn't My Dad Get Me a Dog?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the American greats.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stream, guys. To the world.
Yeah. This went some places.
I'm honestly so proud of us, so it's okay. And it's your fault. You brought us all together.
That's true.
Yeah, kind of is.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. So,
Fair.
yep. Didn't know you
Do you
needed to
think
talk
that
about
Dan's
it.
gonna like? Do you think Dan's gonna like the sculpt I'm doing? By the way.
I think he's gonna shit it himself. That's
Yeah.
what I think.
He'll be stoked.
He's
Like,
gonna
I'm
be
not doing it. I'm not doing it for that purpose, but but it's like I'm doing it out of love for him and for the character and for that comic really affected me. So it's really interesting because I was thinking about when I'm done with this how I'm going to categorize it on my website, because you guys know I do like major art and minor art and all that. And I was like, well, this is minor art, right? Because it's not like a religious figure. But I was like, I don't know. Like, I've kind of imbued it with that Sam Lamb, like that trademark Sam Lamb, like sacredness.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually goes to I was talking to Manny this morning separately about the whole thing of Kevin, you'll appreciate this, that Murph really, really reminds me of Horus, the god Horus. Like in my head canon, he would be like a metalhead contemporary variant on the Egyptian god Horus, whose name literally just meant falcon. And so so it's like for me, I like this idea that and it's a very Jack Kirby idea of comics are modern day myths.
Yeah.
They come from the same fountain of like collective conscious unconscious experience, and to me, I'm like, Murph has the exact qualities I would expect from like a really cool, like benevolent falcon god.
Sam, that reminds me that this upcoming week on the stream, we're going to be talking about Kingdom Come.
Can someone remind me, is that the DC one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to get that. I should have actually gotten that. Yeah.
Yeah. It dives directly into that. It's actually like kind of Alex Ross's like mission statement about how like comics are the modern myth and like they hold an
wild.
important place, particularly from like stuff like the Silver Age where it was like paragons of morality and things like that. And, like absolute truth and justice, like Superman before it became like Justice in America and was just justice, you know.
Yeah.
So I have to be there. This is absolutely a Sam Lamb related conversation.
You're familiar with Alex Ross, right, Sam?
Yes, I am. Yeah, but I not well, not well.
Dude, he's insane.
Well, this is the book to read.
Yeah.
Okay, I should actually. I feel like I should just stop by Collector's Paradise today. I have a they had a whole like. I think they had like a whole Alex Ross and section and a Mark Waid section. I think if I remember correctly, or it might have just been the DC section now that I think about it. But like, yeah, it would be cool to get this visual. They do have it on. So Kindle for me is my backup where I just get busy and I don't have time and I just want to catch up with you guys. And like I mentioned before, I don't mind having a physical copy and a digital copy of something. The digital is like easier to scroll through, but the physical, I mean, can't beat that, right?
Yeah.
Can't beat the physical experience of holding something. So, I would like this physically. Okay, whoops, an excuse to go to the comic book shop. Whoopsie.
Whoops.
Thank you. Yeah. I was another example of that is how for like Flash is definitely Mercury,
Oh, yeah.
or Quicksilver,
Yeah.
right, in Marvel. Yeah, like it's so on the nose for anyone who knows that mythology. Like it's so on the nose. And Superman is Jesus, I guess. Actually, I don't know. I just made that up as a joke, but that might actually be true? Question mark. No. What would be? I mean, he's just like the Ubermensch. He's like super
Yeah,
powerful.
Jesus doesn't really have an allegory in comics because, you know, in superhero comics because they all solve their problems with violence.
I mean,
sort of like,
Jesus was pretty goth, so he's like, I'm just walking around with holes in my hands, you know.
yeah.
I know, but you're right. Oh god, my cat's just pooped. The big downside of being in this like studio type living where I'm in the same room as our litter box. And because they have no sense of like being threatened by predators, like they're so spoiled, they don't even cover it up. At least they use a litter box, which thank God.
Right.
Anyway, change the subject. I'm really excited to read that. Maybe I'll read that tonight actually. Kingdom Come, that is.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably read it once tonight and then again tomorrow night, but like take notes. There's also so many notes in like the main edition that you can find pretty much everywhere. Like the big trade has like lots of process and like kind of like mini little essays about each character and their design and like just the whole like mission statement of the piece.
Yeah, I also got that sketchbook that I got when we went to California. That whole process for Alex Ross. It was just a whole bunch of superhero sketches and stuff for DC.
Yeah.
I think some of it is in that trade, Kingdom Come trade, but even more so in the other one.
Damn it, Oliver. It smells like fucking poop in here, dude.
Meow.
Damn, you shit with that butt?
And then he sits on my computer. He just has poop particles. That's actually where all the art comes from. So
It's all the-
actually, thank you.
That's all the cat
Yeah,
poop.
thank you, Oliver. Cat poop.
Yeah, it's like breathing in the fumes, the particleized fumes.
Oh my god, fucking
Makes
gross.
you an artist.
Yeah.
I wonder if Brock is still there. I think I have a crush on Brock. He just like has good vibes. I don't know.
Does Brock look like Brock from Pokemon?
Not exactly.
Well, then I'm not interested.
Have we decided that he's Asian societally?
Yes,
Rock from Pokemon?
Yeah. What's his
I don't
deal?
know.
Isn't everybody in Pokemon Asian?
I mean, that's racist. I don't know why.
Because it was made in Japan.
But like, I remember it was actually an Asian content influencer who was like, "Oh, they're gonna make a live One Piece, and there's only one Asian person," but it's like that's actually in the story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
so
know
that was
about
like
One
that was a bad take. That was like, I'm not anti-woke or anything, but I was like, yeah, even I know that's a bad take. I'm not even a One Piece fan. Like, why is this person from Nigeria not Asian? It's like, okay, well, no, that's not what's going on. But going back to, yeah, I guess presumed Asian, I guess is what I would say. Presumed Asian.
Kinda like,
Then every
you
once in a
know,
while you have these anime and manga characters who are like, they have blonde hair, and you're like, I don't know how to explain that. No, I don't know what this is about.
You guys see the Dragon Ball movie?
Oh yeah, the one
Oh,
from like
yeah,
the early
dude.
2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, sure. Technically, Goku is an alien, but he should not have been. Like they never cast Superman as an Asian guy. He's always a white guy.
Maybe they should.
Maybe they should. Maybe that was their mistake.
I mean,
But,
like, oh, he's from
Goku
Kansas.
is
I was like,
gonna be-
there's hella Asian people in Kansas. I just want to say.
there are, yeah, totally.
Also, he's Kryptonian, so there's that.
Right.
It's true.
I actually like the idea of like a white family in Kansas adopting an Asian-looking kid. That would be so on point.
Yeah, that would actually be, and it'd be like, yeah, he's adopted, and I mean, he is
But
adopted.
they still just assume he's an alien.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell this thing is.
He's cute though, so we'll keep him.
Yeah.
And that's love. That's actually that's love. So
You ever read Superman Red Sun?
Yeah, that book kicks ass.
Red Sun is pretty cool. Sam, are you familiar with Red Sun? Have you ever heard of this?
oh, what is this? Is this like another? It
It's-
sounds like just from the name, it sounds like some mythical take or some crazy.
No, it's
take.
Superman lands in Soviet Russia instead of.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, that scratches a very different itch for me, but it does scratch an itch for me.
Yeah.
Yes, I have
It's
heard
got-
of it.
And the ending is very interesting. Yeah, you should check it out sometime.
I mean, that's the meditation, right? But that's also like I've seen essays where it's like that thinking also explains why things like Man of Steel, like, as much as I love Henry Cavill, why things like Man of Steel didn't work, because it's kind of missing one of the implicit aspects of Superman's story, which is that he was powerful, but him being a good person was because he was raised by the Kents, right? And I think that gets lost in some of the adaptations, and I agree with that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, and what I like about Red Sun is not totally like Superman would be. I mean, he does some shit in that book, but like, it's not that he's like totally evil as a result of being raised by the Soviets. But yeah, just give it a read. Yeah, I think Man of Steel is a really funny adaptation of Superman. It's like definitely a misread of the character.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, Zack Snyder was not the pick for that.
Zack Snyder is like, I'm trying to think of a good like analogy, but he's like a relatively skilled filmmaker, right? Like he does have like this nerd streak, and he does care, but like he's led by his dick, and by his dick what I mean is that he's led by things that are cool, but it's like you kind of have to earn that. It's okay, it's kind of like the putting lens flares or specular highlights and everything. It's like, like Zach really wants that shot of Aquaman coming out of the water. Fine, wonderful, cheesy, fantastic, we're nerds, we like it, but like it's like you gotta like, there has to be story around that,
Yeah.
to elevate it. I mean, I still like Snyderverse. That was one of the cooler things I've seen in my lifetime. But it wasn't like, to me, it wasn't like a phenomenal movie per se, but it was a really visually stunning experience.
Yeah.
And auditory, yeah.
Like the Snyder Cut Justice League, pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
I will say, it's pretty.
Yeah, no, I really liked
cool.
it a lot. The
It's too
speaking of Flash,
intimidated by the runtime to watch it.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of Flash, that the scene with the Flash at the end is like, man,
Oh, yeah.
hard to beat that. Hard to beat that in terms of like really cool visual scenes in movies. Not just visual, like the music was brilliant. That was Junkie XL, right? Who did the music for that?
Yeah.
That guy's cool. He's just like this like somewhat, I think he's bald-headed, just like German dude just chilling in his studio at home. I'm just like, yeah, you fucking get it. That's really cool. I love you.
I love you.
This knot ended up being cooler than I thought. The headband knot. I used reference. They keep talking about that reference, guys. They keep saying like use reference, and I'm like, get out of here, Steven Zapata. What are you doing in my house?
You got any
leave
sugar?
me alone. I just want to doodle in peace without thinking about what things actually look like.
It somewhat seriously though, but like to that point, whenever like a newer artist is like, oh, how does like the anatomy look in this? And it's like, oh, no one, I don't care. Like, whatever. Like, I'm so done, dude. I'm so done with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So make sure
it's
the
funny.
proportions are good. It's like, oh my god. I mean, if that is the study you're doing, but like that's like the bar for good art, and just over. Sorry, Nate, I cut you off.
No, I was gonna say I think like when those questions get asked, it's often like I want you to go back and like sleep for a day and then look at the thing again. And many of your questions will answer themselves. But I think for like young artists and tend to not like it's not just an eye thing, it's just like a lack of patience, I think, or a seeking of validation too early.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah.
Yeah, like have you guys seen like if you guys ever go on the subreddits for art stuff? Like I'm on a few of them
Yeah.
just for kicks, for gits and shiggles. And but like it's like somebody would be like, oh, I just spent half an hour on this, any crits? And it's like, what are you even talking about? Like, what is it like? What's it, number one's like, what's your objective, right? And number two is like, why are you even here? Just go draw more. Like, it's so weird. I have this voice that I have in part because I'm talking to the younger version of myself, right? Because I was like that for the longest time, and I'm just like, what was I thinking? Anyway, it's okay. I'm a master now, so so dumb.
There's a weird thing about art Reddit where it's just like a lot of people posting like why do people say XYZ thing about my work, or like why doesn't my style resonate with people?
Yeah.
And like most of the time those people like they don't post anything as an example of what their stuff is. They just are like there's no way to like ascertain like whether their question is legitimate because there's nothing to see. Like you can't see
Yes.
what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And so you like the only conclusion you can draw from that is that they're just there to like vent, which is fine, but it's like obviously not a very productive thing that they're engaging in because you can't improve that way.
You know what's so funny? Have you noticed that like that actually happens pretty frequently? And like when somebody asks like, hey, like very nicely, people are like, hey, can you show us some of your art? They're like, oh, I don't know how to post on here. I don't know where to put it. It's like they're weird and obfuscatory about it, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, you just want to come on and vent. Sorry, I forgot that's what
Yeah.
that's what's going on here.
Or it's like there's some people that do have their work posted and they'll say stuff like my style isn't getting the attention of like super realist. Why doesn't anybody like anime or something? And it's like people love anime. It's like
Yeah.
the style is not the problem. It's like you're like 15. That's the problem. The problem
Yeah.
is you haven't been drawing for 30 years like all these other like these mangaka that you love. Like just a little patience. Don't give up on your style.
Yeah.
Your style is not the problem.
It's also like I never really worried about style because also it's
Yeah.
just like you're taking from so many influences as you're going, and something that I heard is just like style is something you see in the rear view mirror, you know.
Oh yeah, that's great.
It's like
Yeah.
something you can't just work for. It just happens as you go, and then you start to see it. Because I
Yeah,
remember
that's a-
people being like, "Man, you have such a different style or whatever." I'm like, I don't see it, because I'm just taking from other things, right? But yeah, I guess something you can't really notice until later.
I actually wonder.
Yeah.
People have mentioned that I have a style, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think I do have a vibe, which maybe that's what people mean by style. Like my art definitely has like a certain like it evokes a kind of particular emotionality and shit. But yeah, I don't find it's also, if anything, I'm kind of all over the place. I feel like I'm very anti-style in that regard.
Mhm.
Like you guys think that I'm doing this thing, but psych,
Psych.
I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do this business.
Yeah, I think vibe is an element of style, though, for sure. You've got the vibe, Sam.
Oh, you got vibe.
Yeah.
So much vibe, dude.
I
Yeah.
did actually recently post on stories about it, and it was kind of the first time I'd like written something like a manifesto about my style. But when I used to officiate weddings, I've done 5, right? A couple of my friends, Nassim and Dustin, we were talking about it, and the way that we framed it is like Sam's like brand when it comes to wedding officiating is if you want a wedding that's secular but it feels religious. And I realized that that's actually a pretty good description of my art. Is I'm not interested necessarily. Some of my earlier pieces were religious in the sense that they like came from lore, like from occult lore. But I like to think that the way that I do it would be interesting in its own right, even if you don't know the lore. Right? That's actually always been a very important part of my art. And actually, in the occult spaces I'm in, a lot of the art that like people make art, it's very like, how do I put this? It's good, but it has this quality of like you had to be there. You know,
Yeah.
like there's like really obscure shit that's like that. You know, I have obscure shit too, but like I think that if not, even if you don't know the obscure shit, you at least you know like, oh, that looks cool. You know, at least you know that. And so, yeah, I think that like that's a really good description of my art. Is like that's actually a pretty important part of what I'm doing. Is that I actually purposely want my art to be accessible even to people. In fact, I would dare say, especially to people who don't know the lore, because I want it to feel like I'm conjuring a certain kind of experience that, like a certain vibe, if you will, that has been lost to time. But to do that, I'm bringing it into contemporary experience. If that makes sense. I don't know why I said if that makes sense. Of course, that made sense.
Of course, it made sense.
I said that like an incoherent statement. That was perfectly good English.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to check in with ignoramuses like Manny and I won't speak for Kevin. I'm sure he's a genius, but
I'm dumb as hell.
It's just,
okay.
It's just really
Well,
interesting because,
Manny
like-
and I aren't even sophisticated enough for Fast and the Furious. So I don't know what level of dude you're dealing with. It's like, you know, it's like, hey, it's like Manny, you were saying earlier. It's like, oh, you're talking about Frazetta?
Yeah.
Frazetta. Yeah, Frazetta is for like, I mean, like if you look at him as a painter, he's a genius.
Right.
And if you painted like Frazetta, you'd be a genius. But if you were just like an average chud who just like liked what was going on in Frazetta paintings because of the content,
Yeah.
I mean, Frazetta is for morons. He's like, it's like, I say that with as much love as possible because I love Frazetta. You know, for more than one reason. But yeah.
Dude, I mean, he's seeing like interviews with Frazetta and them, and he's just like talking about how like people want to be the next Frazetta or whatever. And then he was sitting there and he's like, I don't want people to be the next Frazetta. I want them to be themselves, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, don't draw like me, draw like you. And I was just like, dude, what a guy. What a freaking guy. He's like, I just draw what I want to draw. I paint what I want to paint. That's what I love to do, and that's how I kept a career going, is by doing things that I actually enjoyed. It's like he gets it. He gets it.
I've come to realize that that's why my idols are my idols.
Yeah.
Is yeah, that they found a way to like do shit that they care about, right? And then like their voice comes through.
Yeah.
And yeah, I used to be really into the idea of like, how do I make what they make? Like, you know, Pete Morbacher, that was a really good
Right.
example for me, because that art was like pretty on point for the kind of art that I wanted to make. But I just realized that what really is cool about Pete is he actually has a really good process. He's very consistent, you know? And now that I've actually met him and he's shown me his process, the heart of the process is just that he just did things because he thought they looked cool. It turns out that's kind of everything. It's kind of, you don't really need anything else after that.
You just need to love it.
Yeah, like this project I've been working on, like part of the reason why I've been having such a blast is because like literally every element of this, I only add it or I work on it because I think it's gonna look cool. It helps that Dan's original idea is pretty cool as
Right.
it is. But this entire project, when I drew it out, when I sketched it out and I did the breakdown, I was like literally every part of this, with like maybe the exception of the belt loops, which I didn't care about, but I did it today, was like, I'm gonna have a lot of fun solving this problem. And I have been having a lot of fun. And it's sort of like, where have you been this whole time, fun? Where were you this whole time when I was just chasing things like obligation or whatever bullshit? Oh, life.
It just happens, man.
I've been like, because I've been looking at a lot of Magic cards lately, obviously, but
Yeah.
trying to like actually dive into the artists that are making them and look at their work. And there was this guy, I just posted him in your Twitch chat, Manny.
Oh, nice.
He's Bartolo.
Oh,
I'm not
wonderful.
sure how to pronounce this, but he is. I realized that he actually did a bunch of art for The Witcher and Gwent.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I realized I've been like an appreciator of his work for years, and I didn't ever think to like look him up. But then
Oh, he's Polish. What that makes sense.
yeah,
Thinking of that.
yeah. So he's he was big on The Witcher. He does a lot of like Magic cards. His like orcs and stuff are incredible. The way he paints, I think, is sort of like for me, it's like aspirational, but it's like I realized that I've been looking at a lot of artists like him, and just kind of staring at their stuff and then going off and doing my own thing, and then their influence like kind of comes through. But I haven't been like studying them directly, and maybe that's the next step. But it's also like yeah, kind of like what you were talking about, Sam. Is like as an influence, it's more like I want to capture the spirit of what they're doing without having to like just make myself, you know, a copy of them.
Yeah.
I think that's always the ultimate goal. But I feel like I'm growing a lot just by doing that, though. Just by like spending a lot of time with their work as an appreciator of the work, and not necessarily as a student in the traditional sense, you know.
Here's the thing that I'm curious about your guys' thoughts on this, is because that also has been my experience. But like, a younger version of me would be like, how does that work? You know what I mean? Like how like tell me, what exactly are you pulling from those artists you inspire? Like, tell me the process of how you integrate what you like of them into your art. And the answer, I suspect, is similar for you as it is for me. Is sort of like, there isn't a process. It's just like it's the weird, fundamental, mysterious part of art, where it's like happening at some kind of like subconscious level, and it's like, I will actually, there is one part that I think is conscious or semi-conscious, which is like, it reminds me of the part of me that thinks things are cool, right? It gets me in touch with that, like, right, I forgot that I think like bat wings are fucking awesome, you know, like, it's like, and whether or not the bat wing shows up, a lot of times it does actually, but a lot of times just like, you need to like go push, for me anyway, I need to go push that part of me, of like, wake it up, like that, like the taste part of me. But I actually think that that's actually, so that part is semi-conscious. The unconscious part of the more sublimated part, to use Steven Zapata phraseology, is just like I don't know exactly how it shows up. I just know that when I look at art I like, in a healthy way, not in like an obsessive like, oh my god, I suck way.
Yeah.
It usually goes better for my creativity, especially at the ideation stage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, art. Right, Kevin? Why are we even doing this? What are we even doing here?
I mean, the only answer really is just because we have to.
Mm.
Fuck
Like,
you. That's so true.
The alternative, it means that like your brain will just be in a constant like downward spiral, like not even necessarily depression, but just confusion, listlessness, like not understand. It's like when your animals are stressed out and it's because they have pent up energy, and so they're deciding to like destroy shit and like eat your food and fuck everything up in your house. And you're like, damn, what's wrong with you? And then you just like take it out to a park or take it for a walk, and they just run and go crazy, and then they come back and they sleep and they're just happy, back to normal. It's like that's what your brain like literally needs on a daily basis, is just to run around and go wild by creating art. It like does things both tangibly and intangibly to like your neural pathways and your emotions and your thoughts.
I really love that since I live now with 3 dogs, and that is a very real part of our experience.
Yeah.
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 Like, why is she so anxious all the time? Why is she pooping in the house? And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, because we haven't taken them out in like 3 weeks. Yeah, so that's, I totally agree. And then like a kind of a different angle on the take is what you said reminded me of something that Steven Zapata said, and it's more of an existential commentary, but like for a person who for whatever reason is called to creativity, right, creative endeavors, if they don't do it, he has found in his experience that that fact that they aren't doing it tends to define them as they progress, and often negative, and always negatively, right? Because there's often like a sense of kind of not rising to the occasion, so you end up being the person who didn't, because not everyone is called, and I almost hate to use that phrase because it's so fucking new agey, so you can replace it with whatever, like just like people who care, people who are interested in making stuff, whatever you want to call it. If you don't do it, you end up being defined as the person who didn't listen to that part of you. And that was me, and I was like, why am I so sad? why do I always feel so like, kind of wistful when I see other people make really cool art that I made as a kid? And it's like, maybe it's because you should be fucking making that shit, Sam. Like, what the fuck?
Yes.
I am now, though. I just added more depth into Murph's the crevices between his abs. I'm sure that's for somebody, not for me, not me, good Christian, who I don't care about those things. So.
I don't care about those things. Yeah.
What?
man.
What's your problem, huh?
I'm a person of the Lord. Should I give him a belly button even though he's a bird?
Huh.
How about a dick?
I'm a dick. It's the bulge.
He does have the slight suggestion of
packing.
it. Yeah.
Man, I'm just laughing at this sequence in Blaze the Northern Sky when they come to the bar in the morning and it's closed because the police have closed it off.
Uh-huh.
And then Corpse Fucker. So for everyone here, there's like the black metal tradition of like having crazy names like Necro Butcher and like weird shit like that. And so I have a character in this book called Corpse Fucker. And he's just like this giant behemoth of a man who doesn't say any words. Just like absolutely jacked and beefy. And when the bar is closed, everyone's panicking, like, what's going on? What's going on? And then he's just for the first time you see him upset and frantic. And then he's just like pulling at the door, trying to break it open, like freaking out. And they have to pull him off of it. I'm just having fun.
That's great.
We gotta go, man. We gotta go.
You think I would care more about like jacked people, like jacked bros, and I guess I just not. But when I am, it has to be completely over the top. Like it has to be like kind of the way I'm doing Murph right now. I'm just like, I need you to be ridiculously jacked. Where
Yeah.
I'm like, this doesn't even make physical
Absurdly
sense. You would
jacked.
topple over. Yeah.
That's what I like about Zack Snyder movies, is that like everyone's just like this hulking, jacked, like roided out freak in like the best way possible. That's how I want my action movies. I want everyone to look inhuman.
So The Rock plays everyone.
Yeah, Batista. That's why he's like one of my favorite people to see in a movie, like, because he just looks inhumanly large.
There's like the previous era, or like maybe a couple previous eras of action movies. It was like there are two kinds of action movie stars, like regular schlub, like John McClane, or like Steven Seagal, like who like barely have abs.
Right.
And then Arnold Schwarzenegger, where they're like absurdly jacked, like just bodybuilders, not actually like martial artists or anything.
Yeah.
It's like those are like the two modes of action star for like, you know, a good like 50 years of cinema.
And that was like
Yeah, like-
apparently an unspoken like competition between Sylvester Stallone and like Arnold Schwarzenegger, was like who could get bigger, basically.
I mean, that's hot.
Of course.
That's hot. Yeah.
I'm gonna get a little bigger. He's small, you know what I mean?
He's not bigger than me.
You're not bigger than me, though. Adrian!
Like those guys.
I'm bigger!
That's a real quote.
It's real.
Mhm.
Right out of the movie. Right when he got big.
Yeah. Yeah, that's from Big with Tom Hanks and Sylvester Stallone.
I think get big.
I need to get big.
You didn't get bigger than me. You're not bigger than me. And then they just say that back and forth until the credits roll.
You're not bigger than me.
That would be way better than what Big actually was. It was
Right.
like that weird, like, statutory rape plot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I
Yes.
don't think I've ever actually seen Big, so I've only seen. I know he dances on a giant piano or something. That's about all I.
That's
know
the whole
about that
movie. Yeah.
That's the whole movie.
He wants to get big, so he goes dance on the piano. That's it.
Speaking of statutory rape, do you guys remember the movie? I forget the name of it, but it's like this kid who gets Blink Check. Yeah. Yeah, and so-
Great.
But to finish the thought, for those who haven't seen it, is like he gets a blank check, so he like writes a check to himself for $1 million, and it's like his parents are out of town, so he ends up like, yeah, renting this mansion and throwing this huge party with water slides and the whole thing. And there's this one, I want to say she's a detective who's like investigating and like is weirdly his love interest. I want to explain. The kid is supposed to be 13 or something in the movie.
Yeah.
And she like gives him a kiss at the end, and we're supposed to be okay with that as a society. It was a very weird time.
It's a very weird time.
I mean, like, predatory sexual behavior was just baked into what we called, like, clean, fun comedy for decades. You know what I'm saying? Like, the entire, like, teen sex comedy subgenre is just, like, sexual assault as a joke. Like, Animal House and Porky's. And, these are all great movies, but, like, they're problematic.
Yeah. It's like I still love 16 Candles, even though it's racist as fuck, and just understand, right, that was... And it's not that we're forgiving, we're just understanding and develop some kind of discernment about, but yeah, that was some of the... I mean, even some of the shit in fucking, like, Friends, you know, which I... you know, it's funny now, because I have trouble watching Friends, like, I don't think it aged well at all, and I don't just mean socially, but for me personally. I don't enjoy watching it, but I loved it as a kid, and I think mostly because it was like an escape from my childhood shit. But there was a lot of like, well, there's a lot of problematic gender stuff. Like they never really explained like, is Chandler's dad transsexual or a drag queen? Like they kind of just conflate all that stuff. Yeah, but there's definitely like weird, problematic male, not quite sexually violent, but kind of like along that pipeline stuff of the way they treated women. Also, the
Yes.
real offense is that they thought we were supposed to believe that those people could afford those apartments, with
Right.
the jobs they had.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
That-
Yeah, Friends isn't even like the most ridiculous. I feel like there was like an arms race for like crazy New York apartments and sitcoms.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like How I Met Your Mother, they live in like a giant like apartment.
Actually, I do want to say Joey and Chandler's apartment actually seems pretty reasonable for two people in New York. Yeah, that
two,
that. But
two adults, like yeah.
Yeah. I think actually now I'm kind of like backpedaling a little bit because was Monica rich? I forget. Her and Rachel's apartment was the least believable. And then Ross as an archaeologist had a huge apartment. I don't know how much.
He
He was a paleontologist.
Sorry, I'm
No,
I'm
I
racist.
legit.
I'm racist towards white people professions. I'm sorry.
You have racist.
That's one of the only things I remember about Friends, honestly.
Yeah, that's my bad. I don't want to put feathers on Murph. I just want him to be a glistening, jacked bro.
Just very cool and stuff.
Yeah, make him wet.
And shiny.
Okay, well, we were talking about dogs going crazy if you don't walk them earlier, and my dog is freaking out. So I think I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna go take my dog for a walk, and
Take your dog for a walk.
mayhaps mayhaps I shall return. Mayhaps I shall not.
All right, man.
It's,
Away she goes.
it's been a real good time,
Yes,
fellas, and we'll do it again sometime soon.
indeed. Indeed, my guy. Enjoy.
Take care. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bye, Nick. I
Enjoy.
love you.
Walk,
Bye.
walk the dog. Bye.
I like that guy.
Yeah, he's
should
pretty
keep him.
cool. Yeah. I think
He's
so.
a keeper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bang!
Let's see. All right, I've made a lot of progress. Should I call Collector's Paradise to see if they have this one?
Yeah.
Them come.
Why not?
Yeah, it's pretty reasonably priced. It's only $20 trade. It's a lot of comic. It's pretty dense. It's gonna take you a while to read, not because it's like super long, but just because like
The detail.
every page is like an oil painting,
Yeah.
and so you're just gonna stare at it for like 20 minutes a page, basically.
Beautiful.
What happens to me every time I read this book?
Yeah, I mean that's Alex Ross, right? That's he's
That's what you
painter,
do.
painter.
That's how you read his books. You stare at them for hours, and then you finally read a panel. And then you stare at it for hours, and then you finally read another panel. Just thickening up the line on the hand.
Oh, I'll take in your line.
Hey.
So it's like she approaches the grave, puts her hand on the sword, and then like falls to her knees, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's how I imagine it.
Ah. I love that your head is like taking up most of the frame right
Oh,
now
is it?
on your Twitch.
It's because I moved my camera up slightly. I'm not used to that.
Oh, you're good.
By the way, I'm flipping through the sample for Kingdom Come, and why did they make Clark so hot? He's like a hot zaddy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Old man Kent.
Oof, that does it for me, for sure. I'm gay.
I'm.
What? Since when?
Whenever you guys introduce me as gay during these weekly comic reviews, like it's gonna be actually relevant. This is gonna be me thirsting for half the stream. Oh shit! Oh, I just realized I can't make it Wednesday because my sister's birthday dinner is on Wednesday. I really wanted to talk about Kingdom Come. Well, I'll read it anyway, and then maybe I can opine with you guys over chat.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm always down to talk about this book. You don't have to just do it in a structured environment.
You can just Ben Hill will speak for both him and me. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll let him know.
I was talking to the high school homies last night, just like while we were watching hockey and fucking gaming and shit, and like my buddy Jimmy's getting ready to go on a cruise, and like we were talking about cruises, and like my friends were like, I don't like cruises. I have too much anxiety to be on a boat in like the middle of the ocean like that. And then he was like, so much can go wrong. And I was like what could go wrong? And my boy Hal was like, you get hit an iceberg. I was just like, name one time where a boat has hit an iceberg.
Name one time.
Like, when has that ever happened? I don't know. And then I was like looking at cruise stuff. I would never go on a cruise personally. That does not sound appealing to me at all.
Nope.
But I didn't realize how big like swingers cruises were. Are you familiar
my
with
God.
them?
Yes,
Holy
there's
shit.
I'm not. What?
They're just
there's
like
a lot of these sexual themed cruises. There's like gay ones, not
Whoa.
swingers. Like all gay men are generally swingers. Like that's just the vibe.
Interesting.
Yeah, and like there's just like they go to nice places like the coast of Spain and like Brazil and whatever, but like yeah, the explicit purpose of the cruise is just like everybody is fucking all the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and like that just seems like even more unclean than doing that in a normal hotel. Doing it on a barge, I don't know. Like the
Getting
idea of an
food
orgy
poisoning.
sounds fun in theory, but then in practice, like it just sounds so messy. Like
Yeah.
that's a lot of laundry to do, you know? You gotta mop like, the cleanup, you know? Like
I didn't realize you were so anti-sex there. You know.
I'm not anti-sex, not even
That's
necessarily anti-group sex, but you gotta cap out like you know what I'm saying? Like most video games are 4 players when you play on the couch co-op. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a reason. It's practical, you know?
It is really unfortunate that I'm about to admit this on stream, but having been to like group sex kind of stuff, they are profoundly gross. Yeah, they're really good. Like they're hot, but they're gross. Mostly they're gross. The smell. The smell.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Not us
But-
talking about this on the day of the Lord. You know.
Yeah, who knows?
We've been over this. Jesus was definitely gay.
The accuracy, though. The accuracy.
He just hung out with dudes. You know? Just 12 dudes vibing in robes and sandals in the desert heat. No women, ever. You know what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
like if somebody would be like, "Can you be gay and asexual?" I'd be like, "Jesus existed." You know, like so he just walked around being gay but not constant. Well, actually, maybe he probably hooked up with those guys. I don't know. Probably. Sorry,
I mean,
Jesus.
that's just more by like the byproduct of him being like Mediterranean, you know? Like right? Like like gay sex and like even pedophilia was just like very very normal for like Greek and Roman cultures.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like crazy, but very true. Like it was like for students in ancient Greece, like it was considered an honor to be like selected as a young boy to just like be Plato's concubine. Like, and it was just like systematic and cultural. Like I don't know. It's just that's gross.
I don't know. It's gross.
So basically, the good old days is what you're saying.
Yeah. Exactly. When men were men.
Just railing each other
Really?
like what we have now.
This is an interesting question. But do you think society now is gayer than it ever has been?
Well, what we consider gay is a relatively novel concept that exists really only in the liberal individualistic framework. It's kind of it ties in that with how we think of marriage, right? Because what people don't understand is like our perception of marriage as a transaction between two free individuals, unmoored from their identity and community ties, that's very new.
Yeah.
And so our view of people engaging with each other sexually in that so when I say liberal, I mean that in the sense of liberal philosophy, not like liberal versus conservative. And yeah, so I that kind of answers the question, right? It's like I don't. It's kind of impossible to answer the question because even the conception of what it means to be gay is like actually a function of the modern world. Now, as a de facto way, if we define gay as just mostly like dudes hooking up with dudes, I actually think we might be less gay. No.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's more what I meant. Like not the necessary like the social ideas of gayness, but like just the raw literal like sexual aspect of it.
Everyone heard it here. Kiwi Spicy conflates homosexuality with sexual acts.
No. In fact, I'm just
It's
making
too late.
the
Actually, too late.
distinction apart from the two. You know, like is there? I guess the question should have been: is there more homosexual sexual activity now than ever? But
Yeah.
reducing it to just is the world gayer now than it ever has been is a funnier idea.
It is funnier, and I'm sorry I didn't think of it, to be honest. But yeah. Anyway, that was my answer.
No, yeah, but that's even an interesting, just kind of like takeaway for me, like where like just by phrasing it that way and how like gayness as like a social idea and identity like was how you interpreted it, but I was just like, you know, what gay shit going on, you know?
Damn.
Like it was
On a
very reductive and
on
like
a
simplistic.
scale of Lady Gaga to Cher, how gay are we? And then I have an answer.
As individuals or as like a society?
Yes. Yes. By the way, this is totally unrelated. Actually, it's actually very related because I'm gay for Murph. Are you guys proud of me that I actually modeled the tread underneath his Chuck T's?
Yes.
Oh wow.
So what I did, I
Are you
actually
gonna
found.
like pose him in a way where the treads will be visible,
Yeah.
or for you?
I changed my mind. I'm not gonna do the Japan one for a couple of reasons. Number one is that it's a really cool look, but I don't think it captures the sense of him being like that showed up in the story, like at a time when, he wasn't. How do I put this? Like, he was just completely beaten from that battle, right?
Yeah.
And I guess I'm like, when I'm going with more Sam Lam epic vibes, I'm trying to find something where he feels a bit more epic. So the actual pose that I want to get is the one where it's after Jake saves him from the water, and he takes on the megaform, and then it's him kind of doing the kind of heroic floating pose. You know that pose with like one leg slightly bent.
Megaform. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'll just post it. Except it's a side view, but I'm gonna do it front view. How do I do this? Maybe I do it in general chat. Yeah. Okay. It's this one. There we go.
No.
Yeah. So
Oh,
because
so-
of that, yeah, both of his the souls of his shoes will be visible from the back.
And so when you are sculpting these, like, do you basically like start at something simplistic like a T pose and then like rig it into shape, or do you like sculpt straight into the final pose?
Still process. I can answer that with this specific project. I already know when I'm gonna shift into what I refer to as breaking symmetry and or posing. Because you've already seen my progress. This is technically a pose slash, you know, it's either
Yeah.
a pose, B pose. He's still in a pose, but I've already begun to break symmetry. Like I did it with the headbands, and I'm doing it now with like even some of the wrinkles and stuff. It just looks better that way. But anyway, that doesn't answer your question. Um, I I continue to explore this in part because in industry people tend to start with A or T pose and then they pose in like at the very last stage, and that makes sense because you're making a mesh that's supposed to be ready for a movie or a video game, right?
Yeah.
So someone's gonna rig it, and so they're gonna rig the T pose. But when people do the pose themselves is when they're presenting like in a portfolio or a concept. So that's closer to my workflow because I only care about the story. I'm not gonna rig my models. So I've gone back and forth on this because Simon Lee, who's one of my favorite sculptors, Manny, I think I've shared his stuff with you. He's like the Kim Jong-gi of sculpting, and he's alive. Sorry, R.I.P. Kim Jong-gi. And he's here in L.A. and he's done a lot of work on like the Godzilla movies. He's a concept sculptor, and his philosophy usually is he goes straight to the pose as quickly as possible because for multiple reasons. Number one is that's where the concept lives, right? And then the other reason is because there's a lot of stuff with like anatomy that only makes sense when you're in pose. Like it's like me posing with Murph right now, it's a bit of a waste in a few places because when I stretch his leg, for example, well, it's going to change the way the clothing fits him, right? It's going to change even how his muscles flex, things like that. So someone may say this is a waste, but I'm like, I found a balance where I like to do some of this, but I trust myself to figure that out later. If I pose too early, then I find it's frustrating because then I end up doubling a lot of the work, right? That's the downside of posing too early, is you're like, at the early stages, the anatomy of the arms are going to be the same, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to have to do it twice, basically. So I actually feel quite comfortable about when I'm going to shift into posing with this Murph piece, which is going to be actually probably tomorrow. After I've done most of the basic clothing, the next part after this is I'm going to start working on the mech stuff. And that stuff is going to be really hard to do if I don't go straight into pose. Okay, imagine me trying to squish those into place later. Like that wouldn't work. I should just do his arm in his pose. So did that answer your question? Of course it does. Of course it answers your question.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
this
answers my question.
This model is so cool. I did the thing that is in the comic where his like the top of his pants are kind of unfurled a little bit. It's very sexually suggestive. He's so hot. Oh Murph. Oh Murph. And he's all like, he doesn't even know he's hot. He's just there for Jake, you know?
What a guy.
What?
Friendship.
What a bird.
What a falcon. Oh, I will be right back, guys. I'm gonna go on mute.
I always love when the Jackass theme song randomly pops up on one of my playlists.
Bow, bow, bow. Bow,
Just
bow.
listening, like, my algorithm just tries to put the Minutemen into like everything I do, honestly.
That's amazing.
They're like, you're listening to some, goth music? How would you like a little bit of Minutemen with this? I see you're listening to some Judas Priest right now. Would you also like to listen to the Minutemen? It's like,
Sure.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I don't even like the Minutemen that much. I like the Minutemen a lot, but like I wouldn't consider them one of my favorite bands. But Spotify does.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I mean, since I've been listening to Eagles of Death Metal and like Crooked Vultures and stuff, it just that is literally like my daily mix now. It's just that.
Dude, it's taken me so much time to like break out of just like the 80s like goth new wave thing that's just like in every mix that I have. Like, of course I love that shit,
Yeah.
but it's just like New Order and like Talking Heads and Blondie and shit like that, which is all some of my favorite bands ever. But I'm like, I don't want to listen to this all the time, all day, every day.
Yeah.
Like Spotify seems to think I do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, can you just show me different stuff? Like, you know, I don't want to keep hearing the same songs every single day, dude. So then I just put on Susie and the Banshees. I'm just like, I'm listening to whole albums now, just of random people, I guess.
Yes. Ooh, listen to some Candlemass. I was like writing a couple pages for Sex Dolls and Chili Dogs earlier,
Uh-huh.
and then I was like trying to find some stuff like, what do people who buy sex dolls care about? And then I just like started falling down a rabbit hole of like sex doll reviews on Reddit.
What?
And I was like, whoa, and then I like started looking up all this stuff about sex dolls, and like there's like books about the ethics of sex dolls and shit, and I was like, man, there are things I have not even considered, like, as to be like relevant to this overarching story. So I'm gonna take a step back and like think about all this and like do some more research.
Uh-huh.
But just a funny thing to like find yourself Googling in the middle of the day.
Oh, by the way, I'm back, and just in case you're gonna talk about sex dolls and with respect to me.
I mean, if you have any insight, have I told you about this story that I've like kind of been working on, Sam?
No.
So it's essentially in this like dystopian future where like everybody works in the metaverse essentially. So like, so I'm just using a different company name. It's like this mega corporation that just owns everything, and like the main character is a HR rep within like the corporate bureaucracy of the metaverse, and all he does is work in VR in his like little apartment pod, eat chili dogs, and his best friend is his like chili dog vendor down the street, and fuck his sex doll. And one day he is out of lube and goes to the store, and they're out of his very specific brand that he buys because he cares about the quality of his like the silicone inside of his sex doll. And he gets really bummed out, but then this like weird lizard person sells him like a magic lube, and he takes the lube and fucks his sex doll into sentience. And she's like very bright and loving and sweet and has that kind of like Lola from the Fifth Element sort of energy to her, but like the only language she's ever like listened to is essentially somebody fucking her, so she speaks like a porn star, just like all the time. And she's like, what do we do in like the sentient world? And he's like, I don't know, I eat a lot of chili dogs. So he goes to take her to the chili dog stand, and Frank, the vendor, is gone. And so they're like, well, we gotta find Frank. And then it kind of unravels into this like noir sort of story where they're navigating this like capitalist hellscape, trying to find Frank. And like through Frank, they like kind of, it's like an exploration of sexuality in like capitalist isolation. So there's like swingers parties and brothels and Frank's like failing marriage, all while they're kind of following this trail of breadcrumbs to find Frank. And it turns out he had like gambling debts, and he was killed, quote unquote, thrown into a dumpster and taken into like this like giant landfill of like this computer waste and stuff like that. But they find him. He turns out he's alive, but there's a society of scavengers that live inside the scrap yards who like mine cadmium and sell it on the black market. All this is to say, it just goes on this winding tale. It's very much like the Inkle, but gross, is like the way I would describe it. And the ending is essentially that the evil corporation finds the sex doll, realizes she's sentient, and try to use her and study her to create better artificial intelligence. They have to go in and rescue her, and she, instead of like going and engaging in a relationship with the main character, decides to plug her consciousness into the metaverse and endow the people, like essentially wake them all up and endow them with like a sense of spirituality and wonder and all of that. It's a very, I kind of wanted to be a big sprawling sort of disgusting cyberpunk erotic epic, but yeah. So I've been doing a lot of research about sex dolls.
that sounds legit awesome. That sounds legit awesome. It reminds me of like both in terms of the actual first order plot, but also some of the themes. Is fucking remember Weird Science?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching that as a kid and just being fascinated, like especially as a queer kid who didn't know they were queer yet, and just being like, it was probably early feminism for me. Sort of like concocting this person and then like having to be responsible for the fact that they turned out to be a fully dimensional sentient being and what all that means.
Yeah, and that was like one thing that I wasn't even considering, but when I was kind of like fleshing this pitch out with my buddy who is like a really good writer, like he was like basically like all of the women in your story are essentially like sex objects, but they're the enlightened ones, and like the men are like the caveman zombies who just like only see them for sex. But
For sure.
like, and I thought that that was an interesting kind of point and something I wanted to like dive deeper into, because like there's like gonna be like the madam of the brothel is gonna be like a very like astute and like, you know, it's pointed. It's not kind of like exactly like flipping Weird Science on its head and like actually peeling back the layers of what that means to like create a sex object.
Yeah, and I should say that I don't think that show explored those themes deeply. It's just that it led me to think about those themes because I was a weird ass gay kid. So.
Yeah, definitely like made me want to be more mindful of like exactly how I was portraying every role kind of in the society.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so just writing it is just very gross and a very weird headspace to be in, because like the whole opening passage is about how he's cleaning out the cum inside of the silicone vagina.
Sure.
And, like his thought process as to like how he's so methodical and why he cares about it so much, and the whole process of him going on the marketplace and looking at like all of the sex doll models and like picking the perfect one. And like, so I'm reading a lot of sex doll reviews trying to like understand what is good and what is bad and what people like and the kinds of thoughts these people who are buying this shit actually have. And that's just like a very weird thing to spend your time thinking about.
Sorry that your mind's so twisted, Kevin.
Oh, it's all good. I was trying to make it a comic book, but Manny was kind of gave me the impression that what I was doing was completely insane. Which is it's fair. So maybe like because I want it to be so gross, using words instead of pictures is like a more approachable and palatable way to do it. I don't know.
Well,
So right now it's a
Manny is
novel.
yeah, Manny is famously a prude, so
Yeah.
don't listen to him.
No, because I even pitched it to another artist and our buddy
And they were
Riley,
like, "Yeah,
and
you should write
was-
it."
he was like, "That sounds cool," and then I sent him like an 8-pager, and like one of the jokes in like the panel was just like that as she springs to life, like the cum like slides out of her
Yeah.
onto the floor, and they were like, "What the fuck, dude?" I was like, "Oh, well, I thought that would be funny." I was wrong. Well, I think it is funny still, and the joke stays, but you know, words, not pictures. It was inspired though because one of my friends doesn't know this about me, that I know this about him, because it was told to one of my other friends in confidence. But he bought one of those like fake sex butts. Exactly, Brock. And like he bought one of those fake sex butts, and like he described the process of having to like sneak into his like bathroom every morning so he wouldn't like wake up his dad, and then like take the fake ass into the shower and like clean all the cum out of it. And I was just like, what fucking, how down bad and low do you have to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've just always felt that like if I ever considered spending that much money on something like that, I would just find a prostitute instead. Like, honestly, like that seems like a much more productive like way to spend your money.
Oh, Brock. Brock says everyone needs a sex butt.
Everybody.
I don't know. It's not the idea of the idea of a sex toy. You know, like I'm not gonna shame women for like, you know, dildos and vibrators and all that good stuff. Or men, if you're into that too. But like, it's more the spending the time and money. That's the part that's weird about it to me, not the actual object.
Yeah. So, I said yeah, where I'm like, yes, very, very erudite point, Professor.
Professor.
Because everybody needs to get off. It's when you start to spend money on it that it gets weird. But I guess you could argue that like taking somebody on a date and you know, whining and dining a potential partner is also spending money. You know.
Brock says, "Don't shame me for my bad dragon orders."
Those are funny.
I'm actually trying to think if I ever spent money on sex. Like, if on like maybe I was like, "Damn, this scene looks great. I'm gonna pay for like the subscription so I can see the rest of it." Sorry, I'm laughing. Like, that's valid if you do that. That's valid if you do
Well,
that.
OnlyFans, you know, like the parasocial relationship of OnlyFans models is like endlessly fascinating to me.
I agree. I'm so fascinated by that because it does feel different, right? It's not just buying content. It's like you're supporting this individual, and then you like that. Like I mean, it's like I'm sure there's equivalents with you heteros, but gay guys, like there are definitely some gay porn stars who like their lives are actually pretty like. I don't know if I would say if they share their actual personal lives, but they definitely have a presence online, you know?
Yeah.
Such that like if you were to like see them at an event or something, you would actually like have things to talk to them about because they like share their personal lives and stuff. And I think when a lot of people pay for their OnlyFans, that's partly what's going into it, is that they're like you feel like they're almost paying for that parasocial relationship. They probably don't know that that's what they're doing, I should say. But
Well, yeah, like, because a huge part of OnlyFans is like the chat aspect. It's not just like getting porn sent to you or like a paid subscription to a porn star. It's like it's the actual relationship developed. It's like going on the live streams and like commenting on stuff and like DMing them is like a huge aspect of it.
Yeah.
And some of it I imagine is like directly like sexting, and other times it's not. I don't know. Like I've never really, because again, I don't want to spend the money on it. Like,
I feel like I'm one of these people who I'd be like they're on stream and he's like fucking some dude, and I'm like, wow, I really love the eggshell white that you chose for your design. Like, did you get that at Kohl's? Like, where did you get that? Like, I'm very, or Lowe's, where did you get that? And I'm very curious if you could send me, and it's like, oh, and you're done now. Okay, if you could just message me after this scene, that'd be great. Thank you, I love you. That would be me. I'm thinking of like, there's a few artists like Austin Wolf is a gay porn star who is like very like he's like on all of the porn, but he's very easy to find online. Not so much as his content, because that's what the OnlyFans is for, but like in terms of like, oh, I'm going to this porn convention this week. Like, come, talk to me if you're in town or something. Stop by. And I'm like, it feels like meeting like a Power Ranger on the con circuit, like that's what it is. Like, there's like people do that, and he makes a lot of money. And he's actually, by all accounts, I've heard he's a very nice guy, and it's not his fault that he's jacked, Viking dude.
I mean, like, I can't imagine what that is like on their end of things. Like, to be like, to meet your fans who are a fan of like your body and your physicality, but like also like the way you fuck is like really like weird. Like, I don't, because I like living in LA, I didn't like encounter porn stars that like I was fans of, and that was a really weird thing to like on my end to like even internalize and experience, because like where do you start that conversation, like how do you...
Oh my god, you really got me through early COVID. Like, you're like, thank you so much for what you do.
Because like the look on my face is, can only be interpreted to them as one thing because they've probably seen it 100 times. But like for me, I'm like, like I was bartending and like would have them come to the bar and order a drink, and I'm just like, duh, I have to like save face and pretend I don't recognize you. But it's different, like when it was celebrities, because then it's just like, oh, like Joe Manganiello was a regular at my bar, and like he's of course famous and hot, and like he would come in with that like that smirk on his face, is like, I know I'm famous, and I would have to play it off like, I don't know that you're famous, but like secretly I'm like, I remember True Blood, like and no.
By the way, the way you phrased that reminded me of that line from Hereditary. I'm so tired of that face on your face, or whatever she said.
Yeah, exactly. Meeting famous people is weird. I mean,
well, as someone who's from LA, actually, it's like something that I have to tell people is that I'm used to this, right? Like, I grew up, I was actually just talking to my sister about the theater I used to go to, which is the Burbank AMC 8, and like very frequently, because Burbank is like where a lot of like this like production houses and studios, so like a lot of celebrities are in town, and like afterward they go watch a movie after like a work session. I remember the first time, some of the first celebrities I saw was actually Allison Hannigan and Seth Green. They were like on the escalator right in front of me going to see a movie. So not the same movie, but going to go see some movie. So and I was a huge Buffy fan at the time. But yeah, like growing up in LA, like you do develop this kind of just, it's not even like, I don't feel like I know these people at all. It's not parasocial at all. It's just more like they're just in the background of your life, and you see them putting their pants on, one leg at a time, so to speak. Like I saw Britney Spears at the In-N-Out in Hollywood one time after going out. Leah and she was like, yeah, she had bodyguards. I was like, very cool. I want my double. That's what I want right now because I'm super drunk.
Yeah, there are certain times when it's like a shared experience. Like if I ever saw anybody at a concert or anything like that, like it's like, yeah, we're just both here doing the same thing. I also find that it's only weird the first time. Like
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
because I worked in film, and so like interfacing with actors, I never worked with anyone like wildly famous, but famous to me because I was a comedy nerd and I worked on Adult Swim shows. So like, you know, that first time you meet them, you're like, oh my god, and then the next time you meet them, you're like, oh cool, you're still here, and then like, you know, you eat quesadillas or whatever with them every day for 3 months, and you're like, oh yeah, I just like know this person, and it's not like the mystique is gone, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna go on mute. So I'm gonna call Collector's Paradise to see if they have. Sorry. We already-
unstoppable. Just watching you ink that tree just like fucked me up, because I was just like, oh, these lines, and then like I turned my head to like write a couple words, then turned back, and it's like more and more of a tree every time, you know. And I was just like, oh my god, that's so cool. How does he do that? Like, how does you like just the little lines?
Yeah.
How you make it all happen?
But, you know, it's the way she goes, man.
It's just like the thing about like, I think writing versus visual art is that like you're doing like, it's similar in the sense that we're both doing things like in the act of creation to like communicate the ideas and like turn like, you know, turn abstraction into like very concrete, like real ideas and like things, you know, like it's like they're just lines, but then they become a tree or a samurai sword or whatever for you, right? But like for writing, it's like much more abstract, like, because it's like they're just words, but if I put the words in the right order and the scenes in the right sequence and everything like works in the abstract, like these bigger themes and like ideas are communicated, which I mean is true about visual art too. Am I making sense? Like I just like the process is much less interesting for writing, because I'm just like, if I put more words in and use the right words, then the words do more than words, you know?
Yeah, it's like you're painting the story with words. You're trying to, I mean, it's weird because it's just we all know what this language is. It's like this universal language, right? And then we take that and we translate it into our mind, like whatever you're talking about, like a cheeseburger or something, and then
Yeah.
you're describing the cheeseburger exactly. It's dripping with grease, it's hot, it's steamy, like the meat is just like falling apart when you bite into it, and you can all picture it with like the way you convey those sentences and things. And you
I guess you're talking about
feeling. Huh? Yes.
No. Talking about cheeseburgers, which is close.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the same. But I am gonna say goodbye. They do have it in stock. They have both the hardcover and the trade. And does that, by the way, is there a difference? Is the hardcover the one with like extra shit in it?
The trade has extra shit. So if you notice anything new or different about them, definitely.
I want the one with like the notes and shit and the sketches and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go pick it up, and I love you guys, and let you know how it is.
See you later.
But I mean, you can grab a lot more with words too. The way you describe it and stuff, and capturing the feeling of like how it is in your mouth versus seeing just a illustration of it or a photograph. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like
weird.
it's a lot of different like moving pieces to create like an idea or an experience in your head. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like, not that images themselves aren't capable of creating that, but like, I guess more what I was kind of getting at was like, I can watch you draw something, and then like over the course of you drawing, it turns from something or nothing into something.
Yeah.
You know? But you can't do that with writers. You can't just like watch me type words onto a page and be like, wow, he's really making that book.
You're really making that book. Yeah, yeah. I see that.
Like the totality of like the work to be communicated, you have to like read a whole book. You can't just be like, I saw him start drawing, and then by the end of it, he had a whole drawing. It's like you'd have to be like, I saw him draw, or I saw him write, and then I read the book, and then I got it. Like it's like a different. I don't know. Hopper, what do you want? What's your problem?
Sam's. This.
Alright, I'm gonna eat some food and walk the dog.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that after I ink this mountain in the background.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, partner. I'll catch you later.
Yeah, man. See you next time. Thanks for joining.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go eat. I'm starving. It is 6:34. But yeah, thanks for joining me on this day. I might just come back and finish this after I eat. Like that and that. And then after that, I will wind down and get ready for bed. But I'll be back in like an hour or so. And then stream the rest of this page. So, ink the rest of it. But maybe I'll see you later, maybe not. Either way, thank you for hanging out with us. It's a good time. See you, Brock. Love your face. And everybody else. I love your face.